Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas Pinkevičius
and Aušra Pinkevičienė.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 327 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Timothy, and he wrote, I recently purchased your fingering for BWV 553 and I stopped dead at the transition from the first page to the second. The last right hand note on the first page specifies finger 3. And the first note on the second page is also 3. Is that a misprint? Am I missing something important? How can the third finger jump like that in the middle of a fast 16-note passage? So, Aušra, here we go. Let me find the score. You don't know exactly what he's talking about, but you can imagine.
I can imagine that we will look at that concrete spot, but in general, usually you use the same finger, between measures when you want to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's perfectly normal thing to do in a Baroque music.
Even though the tempo is fast. Even
yes,
though there is
right.
like 16 notes. We're looking at this measure.
Okay.
And it ends on the third finger.
Okay, and
the next is also 3.
Show me the next measure.
I don't have the next measure, but you can imagine G. There is G after D. So there is a leap upward, a perfect fourth from D to G. You know why I wrote this? Because this figure at the end of the measure F sharp, D, C sharp and D has to be played by 5, 3, 2, 3. This is really fitting the hand. It's in one position, right? And the next position starts with the next measure G, F sharp, G and D. Also starting with the third finger. It's also the next position. What you have to do is just shift the hand a little bit
yes,
to the right.
And when question rises like this, as we read in Timothy's letter, I think probably he still is not comprehending deeply enough what the Baroque articulation is.
Mm-hmm.
That it's perfectly normal because between measures you do a slight break actually.
Mm-hmm.
So usually the last note in each measure is a little bit shorter in order to have more space between a strong beat.
And that's especially true when you have to emphasize the beginning of the next section.
Yes.
And that's the exact case here.
Yes.
At the end of the first page, going to the next page it's like a break between two sections.
Yes. And I don't know what organ Timothy is playing. If it's mechanical or electronic organ.
He didn't say.
But if he would play on the mechanical organ, I think he would get the better understanding of what we are talking about.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be in time with metronome like a robot.
True.
Because it's changing the section. You have to even slow down a little bit, like going with the car, and you suddenly have a turn. What you do is slow down, and then after the turn, you speed up a little bit. You do it so naturally, of course, on the organ, not too much, not over exaggerate, but naturally, with breathing, with phrasing. It's very natural, right?
Yes.
So Timothy needs to understand the basics of Baroque articulation and fingering too, right?
True, and with C major prelude, it's fast, but it's allegro, it's not presto. So you would have enough time really to move your hand.
It's not a jig.
True.
Definitely. You play the same figure with the same fingers sometimes, the same intervals with the same figures. You play with the same fingers with before the strong beat sometimes in order to make a rest, right?
Sure. And if you really don't trust, us and don't want to play Baroque music, in historical style, you can do your own fingering and play whatever you want. Even you can play legato.
With finger substitutions too.
Yes, it's a free world.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, if you would come to the historical instrument, you could not play, legato. The instrument would not allow you to do that.
And there is a counter argument to this, because sometimes in Lithuania people say that, oh, when I play historical organs, then I will use historical fingerings. Well, now I'm only playing Allen digital organ, why do I need to jump from 3 to 3 up a perfect fourth, And to this question, what would you answer, Osha?
Well, you never know when opportunity might appear for you to play on the historical instrument. Plus, if you will learn it in a stylistically right way, right from the beginning, it will be easier for you to go from one instrument to another. And it would be really hard to relearn something. I find it's easier for me, for example, to learn a new piece than, to correct something that I already have learned and to play it differently.
Because it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes, and I think it's also because our muscles have their own memory.
Mm-hmm. So your muscles are like dogs, old dogs, because they are trained one way. And if you suddenly say, no, this was wrong, and now you have to learn the other way, they're confused.
Yes, true, because it's, connected to your brain. So it's very hard to learn. It's possible, but you just be wasting your time.
Mm-hmm. Life is short, right? We have to learn the pieces the most efficient way, so that when opportunity arises, you could play with historically informed fingering and articulation too.
But even, on the electronical organ, it will sound better if you will articulate.
Obviously, yes. Even though the keys are longer and you have to work a little bit harder. The same goes with pedaling too. On the modern pedal board, it's not so convenient to play with historical pedaling, but
So you know what I would do if I wouldn't want to articulate
no,
and would want just to play legato
right,
or whatever.
say it.
I wouldn't play Baroque music then.
Ah,
There are so much music written on, so why don't play something else?
mm-hmm. And if a person loves Baroque music,
Well,
then
if person really loves Baroque music, I suggest that person wouldn't hear Baroque music by offensive playing legato.
if a person really loves Baroque music, he wants to know more about it. Not only play it, but dig deeper. And when you dig deeper, you find out so many new things.
Listen to Bach's cantatas. There are so many wonderful recordings.
Mm-hmm.
And historically so nice recordings, that reconstructed the playing manner of Bach's time. Listen to them.
Just simply observe how violinists are playing, their bowing techniques. They remind of historical articulation
Sure.
too.
Or flute or oboe.
Mm-hmm.
They articulate.
Up and down the bow, or tonguing with
Tonguing, yes. Because that articulation, it was not just common for organ or harpsichord at that time. It was common for every instrument, and everybody articulated.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Timothy is not criticizing the choice of articulation probably here, but it doesn't seem to understand that when you play with historical fingering, this articulation comes natural. You don't have to think about it.
True. That's why it's important how you choose fingering.
And in that score that he has of C major Prelude and Fugue, BWV 553, there is no articulation written. So we don't know if he is playing with articulation or not. Maybe he is not always articulating before the strong beats, right?
But you have to do that.
Right.
And sometimes, let's say now I have two students, who are really beginners at the organ, and we are adults. And what I'm suggesting them to do, that if it's too hard for them to articulate every note as I would like them to do, at least that we would articulate each measure before each measure and emphasize the strong beat.
Oh, you are so forgiving.
And then I would insist that we would articulate each figure, each beat of a measure, and then we would try to articulate each note.
Did you tell them that they could play the passage with one finger?
Yes, I told, and it worked actually very well, and we, I think,
got it.
Got it, yes. It's very helpful.
Yeah, just play the passage with one fingering, and once you achieve as legato as possible with one finger, try to imitate with all the fingers, and that would be ideal articulation.
Sure.
And if you use our fingerings, this ideal articulation will come naturally without you even thinking about it.
Well, but you still have to listen to what you are doing. You have to control yourself while learning.
Right. Okay, I think Timothy can try an experiment, and he will find out for himself, I think, what works for him. Thank you guys for listening, for sending us your wonderful questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, the sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help.
Robert writes, I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent.
John writes, I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor.
Robert writes, it has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching.
Ron writes, Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward.
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas.
And Ausra from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.